Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 1. The Proverbs of Solomon the son of David, king of Israel. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 2. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 3. To receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 4. To give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 5. A wise man will hear, and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain to wise counsels. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 6. To understand a proverb, and the interpretation, the words of the wise, and their dark sayings. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 8. My son, hear the instruction of your father, and forsake not the law of your mother. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 9. For they shall be an ornament of grace to your head, and chains about your neck. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 10. My son, if sinners entice you, consent you not. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 11. If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privately for the innocent without cause. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 12. Let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and whole as those that go down into the pit. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 13. We shall find all precious substance, we shall fill our houses with spoil. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 14. Cast in your lot among us, let us all have one purse. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 15. My son, walk not you in the way with them, refrain your foot from their path. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 16. For their feet run to evil, and make haste to shed blood. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 17. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 18. And they lay wait for their own blood. They lurk privately for their own lives. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 19. So are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain, which takes away the life of the owners thereof. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 20. Wisdom cries without, she utters her voice in the streets. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 21. She cries in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she utters her words, saying. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 22. How long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge? Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 23. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit to you. I will make known my words to you. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 24. Because I have called, and you refused. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 25. But you have set at nothing all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 26. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear comes. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 27. When your fear comes as desolation, and your destruction comes as a whirlwind. When distress and anguish comes on you. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 28. Then shall they call on me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 29. For that they hated knowledge, and did not choose the fear of the Lord. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 30. They would none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 31. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 32. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 33. But whoever listens to me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil. Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if you will receive my words, and hide my commandments with you. Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 2. So that you incline your ear to wisdom, and apply your heart to understanding. Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 3. Yes, if you cry after knowledge, and lift up your voice for understanding. Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 4. If you seek her as silver, and search for her as for hid treasures. Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 5. Then shall you understand the fear of the Lord, and find the knowledge of God. Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 6. For the Lord gives wisdom, out of his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 7. He lays up sound wisdom for the righteous. He is a buckler to them that walk uprightly. Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 8. He keeps the paths of judgment, and preserves the way of his saints. Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 9. Then shall you understand righteousness, and judgment, and equity. Yes, every good path. Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 10. When wisdom enters into your heart, and knowledge is pleasant to your soul. Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 11. Discretion shall preserve you, understanding shall keep you. Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 12. To deliver you from the way of the evil man, from the man that speaks fraudulent things. Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 13. Who leave the paths of uprightness, to walk in the ways of darkness. Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 14. Who rejoice to do evil, and delight in the frowardness of the wicked. Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 15. Whose ways are crooked, and they fraudulent in their paths. Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 16. To deliver you from the strange woman, even from the stranger which flatters with her words. Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 17. Which forsakes the guide of her youth, and forgets the covenant of her God. Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 18. For her house inclines to death, and her paths to the dead. Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 19. None that go to her return again, neither take they hold of the paths of life. Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 20. that you may walk in the way of good men and keep the paths of the righteous. Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 21. For the upright shall dwell in the land, and the perfect shall remain in it. Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 22. But the wicked shall be cut off from the earth, and the transgressor shall be rooted out of it. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 1. My son, forget not my law, but let your heart keep my commandments. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 2. For length of days, and long life, and peace, shall they add to you. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 3. Let not mercy and truth forsake you. Bind them about your neck, write them on the table of your heart. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 4. So shall you find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not to your own understanding. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 6. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 7. Be not wise in your own eyes, fear the Lord, and depart from evil. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 8. It shall be health to your navel, and marrow to your bones. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 9. Honor the Lord with your substance, and with the first fruits of all your increase. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 10. So shall your barns be filled with plenty, and your presses shall burst out with new wine. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 11. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 12. For whom the Lord loves he corrects, even as a father the son in whom he delights. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 13. Happy is the man that finds wisdom, and the man that gets understanding. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 14. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 15. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things you can desire are not to be compared to her. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 16. Length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 17. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 18. She is a tree of life to them that lay hold on her, and happy is everyone that retains her. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 19. The Lord by wisdom has founded the earth, by understanding has he established the heavens. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 20. By his knowledge the depths are broken up, and the clouds drop down the dew. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 21. My son, let not them depart from your eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 22. So shall they be life to your soul, and grace to your neck. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 23. Then shall you walk in your way safely, and your foot shall not stumble. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 24. When you lie down, you shall not be afraid. Yes, you shall lie down, and your sleep shall be sweet. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 25. Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it comes. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 26. For the Lord shall be your confidence, and shall keep your foot from being taken. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 27. Withhold not good from them to whom it is due, when it is in the power of your hand to do it. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 28. Say not to your neighbor, Go, and come again, and tomorrow I will give, when you have it by you. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 29. Devise not evil against your neighbor, seeing he dwells securely by you. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 30. Strive not with a man without cause, if he have done you no harm. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31. Envy you not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 32. For the fraudulent is abomination to the Lord, but his secret is with the righteous. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 33. The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, but he blesses the habitation of the just. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 34. Surely he scorns the scorners, but he gives grace to the lowly. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 35. The wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the promotion of fools. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 1. Hear, you children, the instruction of a father, and attend to no understanding. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 2. For I give you good doctrine, forsake you not my law. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 3. For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 4. He taught me also, and said to me, Let your heart retain my words, keep my commandments, and live. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 5. Get wisdom, get understanding. Forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 6. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve you. Love her, and she shall keep you. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all your getting get understanding. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 8. Exalt her, and she shall promote you. She shall bring you to honor when you do embrace her. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 9. She shall give to your head an ornament of grace. A crown of glory shall she deliver to you. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 10. Hear, O my son, and receive my sayings, and the years of your life shall be many. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 11. I have taught you in the way of wisdom. I have led you in right paths. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 12. When you go, your steps shall not be straitened, and when you run, you shall not stumble. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 13. Take fast hold of instruction, let her not go. Keep her, for she is your life. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 14. Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 15. Avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 16. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 17. For they eat the bread of wickedness, and drink the wine of violence. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 18. But the path of the just is as the shining light, that shines more and more to the perfect day. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 19. The way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not at what they stumble. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 20. My son, attend to my words. Incline your ear to my sayings. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 21. Let them not depart from your eyes. Keep them in the middle of your heart. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 22. For they are life to those that find them, and health to all their flesh. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 23. Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 24. Put away from you a fraudulent mouth, and perverse lips put far from you. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 25. Let your eyes look right on, and let your eyelids look straight before you. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 26. Ponder the path of your feet, and let all your ways be established. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 27. Turn not to the right hand, nor to the left. Remove your foot from evil. Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 1. My son, attend to my wisdom, and bow your ear to my understanding. Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 2. That you may regard discretion, and that your lips may keep knowledge. Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 3. For the lips of a strange woman drop as an honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil. Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 4. But her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 5. Her feet go down to death. Her steps take hold on hell. Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 6. Lest you should ponder the path of life, her ways are movable, that you cannot know them. Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 7. Hear me now, therefore, O you children, and depart not from the words of my mouth. Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 8. Remove your way far from her, and come not near the door of her house. Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 9. Lest you give your honor to others, and your years to the cruel. Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 10. Lest strangers be filled with your wealth, and your labors be in the house of a stranger. Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 11. And you mourn at the last, when your flesh and your body are consumed. Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 12. And say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof. Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 13. And have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to them that instructed me. Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 14. I was almost in all evil in the middle of the congregation and assembly. Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 15. Drink waters out of your own cistern, and running waters out of your own well. Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 16. Let your fountains be dispersed abroad, and rivers of waters in the streets. Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 17. Let them be only your own, and not strangers with you. Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 18. Let your fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of your youth. Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 19. Let her be as the loving hind and pleasant roe. Let her breasts satisfy you at all times, and be you ravished always with her love. Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 20. And why will you, my son, be ravished with a strange woman, and embrace the bosom of a stranger? Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 21. For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he ponders all his goings. Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 22. His own iniquities shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be held with the cords of his sins. Proverbs chapter 5, verse 23. He shall die without instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 1. My son, if you be surety for your friend, if you have stricken your hand with a stranger. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 2. You are snared with the words of your mouth. You are taken with the words of your mouth. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 3. Do this now, my son, and deliver yourself, when you are come into the hand of your friend. Go, humble yourself, and make sure your friend. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 4. Give not sleep to your eyes, nor slumber to your eyelids. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 5. Deliver yourself as a roe from the hand of the hunter, and as a bird from the hand of the fowler. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 6. Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider her ways, and be wise. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 7. Which having no guide, overseer, or ruler. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 8. Provides her meat in the summer, and gathers her food in the harvest. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 9. How long will you sleep, O sluggard? When will you arise out of your sleep? Proverbs chapter 6, verse 10. Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 11. So shall your poverty come as one that travels, and your want as an armed man. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 12. A naughty person, a wicked man, walks with a fraudulent mouth. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 13. He winks with his eyes, he speaks with his feet, he teaches with his fingers. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 14. Frowardness is in his heart, he devises mischief continually, he sows discord. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 15. Therefore shall his calamity come suddenly, suddenly shall he be broken without remedy. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16. These 6 things does the Lord hate. Yes, 7 are an abomination to him. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 17. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 18. An heart that devises wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 19. A false witness that speaks lies, and he that sows discord among brothers. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 20. My son, keep your father's commandment, and forsake not the law of your mother. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 21. Bind them continually on your heart, and tie them about your neck. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 22. When you go, it shall lead you. When you sleep, it shall keep you. And when you wake, it shall talk with you. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 24. To keep you from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 25. Lust not after her beauty in your heart, neither let her take you with her eyelids. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 26. For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 27. Can a man take fire in his bosom, and his clothes not be burned? Proverbs chapter 6, verse 28. Can one go on hot coals, and his feet not be burned? Proverbs chapter 6, verse 29. So he that goes into his neighbor's wife, whoever touches her shall not be innocent. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 30. Men do not despise a thief, if he steal to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 31. But if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 32. But whoever commits adultery with a woman lacks understanding. He that does it destroys his own soul. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 33. A wound and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 34. For jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 35. You will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though you give many gifts. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 1. My son, keep my words, and lay up my commandments with you. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 2. Keep my commandments and live, and my law is the apple of your eye. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 3. Bind them on your fingers, write them on the table of your heart. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 4. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and call understanding your kinswoman. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 5. That they may keep you from the strange woman, from the stranger which flatters with her words. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 6. For at the window of my house I looked through my casement. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 7. And beheld among the simple ones, I discerned among the youths, a young man void of understanding. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 8. Passing through the street near her corner, and he went the way to her house. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 9. In the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 10. And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of an harlot, and subtle of heart. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 11. She is loud and stubborn, her feet abide not in her house. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 12. Now is she without, now in the streets, and lies in wait at every corner. Proverbs, chapter 7, verse 13. So she caught him, and kissed him, and with an impudent face said to him. Proverbs, chapter 7, verse 14. I have peace offerings with me. This day have I paid my vows. Proverbs, chapter 7, verse 15. Therefore came I forth to meet you, diligently to seek your face, and I have found you. Proverbs, chapter 7, verse 16. I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, with carved works, with fine linen of Egypt. Proverbs, chapter 7, verse 17. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Proverbs, chapter 7, verse 18. Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us solace ourselves with loves. Proverbs, chapter 7, verse 19. For the manager is not at home, he is gone a long journey. Proverbs, chapter 7, verse 20. He has taken a bag of money with him, and will come home at the day appointed. Proverbs, chapter 7, verse 21. With her much fair speech she caused him to yield, with the flattering of her lips she forced him. Proverbs, chapter 7, verse 22. He goes after her straightway, as an ox goes to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of the stocks. Proverbs, chapter 7, verse 23. Till a dart strike through his liver, as a bird hastens to the snare, and knows not that it is for his life. Proverbs, chapter 7, verse 24. Listen to me now, therefore, O you children, and attend to the words of my mouth. Proverbs, chapter 7, verse 25. Let not your heart decline to her ways. Go not astray in her paths. Proverbs, chapter 7, verse 26. For she has cast down many wounded. Yes, many strong men have been slain by her. Proverbs, chapter 7, verse 27. Her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 1. Does not wisdom cry, and understanding put forth her voice? Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 2. She stands in the top of high places, by the way in the places of the paths. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 3. She cries at the gates, at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 4. To you, O man, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 5. O you simple, understand wisdom, and you fools, be you of an understanding heart. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 6. Hear, for I will speak of excellent things, and the opening of my lips shall be right things. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 7. For my mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 8. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing fraudulent or perverse in them. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 9. They are all plain to him that understands, and right to them that find knowledge. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 10. Receive my instruction, and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 11. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 12. I wisdom dwell with prudence, and find out knowledge of witty inventions. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 13. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride and arrogance, and the evil way, and the fraudulent mouth do I hate. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 14. Counsel is mine, and sound wisdom. I am understanding. I have strength. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 15. By me kings reign, and princes decree justice. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 16. By me princes rule, and nobles, even all the judges of the earth. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 17. I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 18. Riches and honor are with me. Yes, durable riches and righteousness. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 19. My fruit is better than gold, yes, than fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 20. I lead in the way of righteousness, in the middle of the paths of judgment. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 21. That I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasures. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 22. The Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way before his works of old. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 23. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 24. When there were no depths, I was brought forth, when there were no fountains abounding with water. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 25. Before the mountains were settled, before the hills was I brought forth. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 26. While as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of the dust of the world. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 27. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he set a compass on the face of the depth. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 28. When he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the fountains of the deep. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 29. When he gave to the sea his decree, that the waters should not pass his commandment. When he appointed the foundations of the earth. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 30. Then I was by him, as one brought up with him, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 31. Rejoicing in the habitable part of his earth, and my delights were with the sons of men. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 32. Now therefore listen to me, O you children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 33. Hear instruction, and be wise, and refuse it not. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 34. Blessed is the man that hears me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of my doors. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 35. For whoever finds me finds life, and shall obtain favor of the Lord. Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 36. But he that sins against me wrongs his own soul. All they that hate me love death. Proverbs, chapter 9, verse 1. Wisdom has built her house. She has hewn out her 7 pillars. Proverbs, chapter 9, verse 2. She has killed her beasts. She has mingled her wine. She has also furnished her table. Proverbs, chapter 9, verse 3. She has sent forth her maidens. She cries on the highest places of the city. Proverbs, chapter 9, verse 4. Whoever is simple, let him turn in here. As for him that wants understanding, she says to him. Proverbs, chapter 9, verse 5. Come, eat of my bread, and drink of the wine which I have mingled. Proverbs chapter 9, verse 6. Forsake the foolish in life, and go in the way of understanding. Proverbs chapter 9, verse 7. He that reproves a scorner gets to himself shame, and he that rebukes a wicked man gets himself a block. Proverbs chapter 9, verse 8. Reprove not a scorner, lest he hate you. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love you. Proverbs chapter 9, verse 9. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. Proverbs chapter 9, verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. Proverbs chapter 9, verse 11. For by me your days shall be multiplied, and the years of your life shall be increased. Proverbs chapter 9, verse 12. If you be wise, you shall be wise for yourself. But if you scorn, you alone shall bear it. Proverbs chapter 9, verse 13. A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knows nothing. Proverbs chapter 9, verse 14. For she sits at the door of her house, on a seat in the high places of the city. Proverbs chapter 9, verse 15. To call passengers who go right on their ways. Proverbs chapter 9, verse 16. Whoever is simple, let him turn in here. And as for him that wants understanding, she says to him. Proverbs chapter 9, verse 17. Stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. Proverbs chapter 9, verse 18. But he knows not that the dead are there, and that her guests are in the depths of hell. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 1. The Proverbs of Solomon. T. A wise son makes a glad father, but a foolish son is the heaviness of his mother. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 2. Treasures of wickedness profit nothing, but righteousness delivers from death. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 3. The Lord will not suffer the soul of the righteous to famish, but he casts away the substance of the wicked. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 4. He becomes poor that deals with a slack hand, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 5. He that gathers in summer is a wise son, but he that sleeps in harvest is a son that causes shame. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 6. Blessings are on the head of the just, but violence covers the mouth of the wicked. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 7. The memory of the just is blessed, but the name of the wicked shall rot. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 8. The wise in heart will receive commandments, but a prating fool shall fall. Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 9. He that walks uprightly walks surely, but he that perverts his ways shall be known. Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 10. He that winks with the eye causes sorrow, but a prating fool shall fall. Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 11. The mouth of a righteous man is a well of life, but violence covers the mouth of the wicked. Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 12. Hatred stirs up strifes, but love covers all sins. Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 13. In the lips of him that is understanding wisdom is found, but a rod is for the back of him that is void of understanding. Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 14. Wise men lay up knowledge, but the mouth of the foolish is near destruction. Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 15. The rich man's wealth is a strong city, the destruction of the poor is their poverty. Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 16. The labor of the righteous tends to life, the fruit of the wicked to sin. Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 17. He is in the way of life that keeps instruction, but he that refuses reproof errs. Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 18. He that hides hatred with lying lips, and he that utters a slander, is a fool. Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 19. In the multitude of words there wants not sin, but he that refrains his lips is wise. Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 20. The tongue of the just is as choice silver, the heart of the wicked is little worth. Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 21. The lips of the righteous feed many, but fools die for want of wisdom. Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 22. The blessing of the Lord, it makes rich, and he adds no sorrow with it. Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 23. It is as sport to a fool to do mischief, but a man of understanding has wisdom. Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 24. The fear of the wicked, it shall come on him, but the desire of the righteous shall be granted. Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 25. As the whirlwind passes, so is the wicked no more, but the righteous is an everlasting foundation. Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 26. As vinegar to the teeth, and as smoke to the eyes, so is the sluggard to them that send him. Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 27. The fear of the Lord prolongs days, but the years of the wicked shall be shortened. Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 28. The hope of the righteous shall be gladness, but the expectation of the wicked shall perish. Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 29. The way of the Lord is strength to the upright, but destruction shall be to the workers of iniquity. Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 30. The righteous shall never be removed, but the wicked shall not inhabit the earth. Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 31. The mouth of the just brings forth wisdom, but the fraudulent tongue shall be cut out. Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 32. The lips of the righteous know what is acceptable, but the mouth of the wicked speaks frowardness. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 1. A false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 2. When pride comes, Then comes shame, but with the lowly is wisdom. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 3. The integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 5. The righteousness of the perfect shall direct his way, but the wicked shall fall by his own wickedness. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 6. The righteousness of the upright shall deliver them, but transgressors shall be taken in their own naughtiness. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 7. When a wicked man dies, his expectation shall perish, and the hope of unjust men perishes. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 8. The righteous is delivered out of trouble, and the wicked comes in his stead. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 9. An hypocrite with his mouth destroys his neighbor, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 10. When it goes well with the righteous, the city rejoices, and when the wicked perish, there is shouting. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 11. By the blessing of the upright the city is exalted, but it is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 12. He that is void of wisdom despises his neighbor, but a man of understanding holds his peace. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 13. A talebearer reveals secrets, but he that is of a faithful spirit conceals the matter. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 14. Where no counsel is, the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors there is safety. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 15. He that is surety for a stranger shall smart for it, and he that hates indebtedness is sure. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 16. A gracious woman retains honor, and strong men retain riches. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 17. The merciful man does good to his own soul, but he that is cruel troubles his own flesh. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 18. The wicked works a deceitful work, but to him that sows righteousness shall be a sure reward. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 19. As righteousness tends to life, so he that pursues evil pursues it to his own death. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 20. They that are of a fraudulent heart are abomination to the Lord, but such as are upright in their way are his delight. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 22. As a jewel of gold in a swine's snout, so is a fair woman which is without discretion. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 23. The desire of the righteous is only good, but the expectation of the wicked is wrath. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 24. There is that scatters, and yet increases, and there is that withholds more than is meet, but it tends to poverty. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 25. The liberal soul shall be made fat, and he that waters shall be watered also himself. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 26. He that withholds corn, the people shall curse him, but blessing shall be on the head of him that sells it. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 27. He that diligently seeks good procures favor, but he that seeks mischief, it shall come to him. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 28. He that trusts in his riches shall fall, but the righteous shall flourish as a branch. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 29. He that troubles his own house shall inherit the wind, and the fool shall be servant to the wise of heart. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 30. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and he that wins souls is wise. Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 31. Behold, the righteous shall be recompensed in the earth, much more the wicked and the sinner. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 1. Whoever loves instruction loves knowledge, but he that hates reproof is brutish. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 2. A good man obtains favor of the Lord, but a man of wicked devices will he condemn. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 3. A man shall not be established by wickedness, but the root of the righteous shall not be moved. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 4. A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband, but she that makes ashamed is as rottenness in his bones. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 5. The thoughts of the righteous are right, but the counsels of the wicked are deceit. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 6. The words of the wicked are to lie in wait for blood, but the mouth of the upright shall deliver them. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 7. The wicked are overthrown and are not, but the house of the righteous shall stand. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 8. A man shall be commended according to his wisdom, but he that is of a perverse heart shall be despised. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 9. He that is despised, and has a servant, is better than he that honors himself, and lacks bread. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 10. A righteous man regards the life of his beast, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 11. He that tills his land shall be satisfied with bread, but he that follows vain persons is void of understanding. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 12. The wicked desires the net of evil men, but the root of the righteous yields fruit. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 13. The wicked is snared by the transgression of his lips, but the just shall come out of trouble. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 14. A man shall be satisfied with good by the fruit of his mouth, and the recompense of a man's hands shall be rendered to him. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 15. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that listens to counsel is wise. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 16. A fool's wrath is presently known, but a prudent man covers shame. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 17. He that speaks truth shows forth righteousness, but a false witness deceit. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 18. There is that speaks like the piercings of a sword, but the tongue of the wise is health. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 19. The lip of truth shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 20. Deceit is in the heart of them that imagine evil, but to the counselors of peace is joy. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 21. There shall no evil happen to the just, but the wicked shall be filled with mischief. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 22. Lying lips are abomination to the Lord, but they that deal truly are his delight. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 23. A prudent man conceals knowledge, but the heart of fools proclaims foolishness. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 24. The hand of the diligent shall bear rule, but the slothful shall be under tribute. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 25. Heaviness in the heart of man makes it stoop, but a good word makes it glad. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 26. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduces them. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 27. The slothful man roasts not that which he took in hunting, but the substance of a diligent man is precious. Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 28. In the way of righteousness is life, and in the pathway thereof there is no death. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 1. A wise son hears his father's instruction, but a scorner hears not rebuke. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 2. A man shall eat good by the fruit of his mouth, but the soul of the transgressors shall eat violence. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 3. He that keeps his mouth keeps his life, but he that opens wide his lips shall have destruction. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 4. The soul of the sluggard desires, and has nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made fat. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 5. A righteous man hates lying, but a wicked man is loathsome, and comes to shame. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 6. Righteousness keeps him that is upright in the way, but wickedness overthrows the sinner. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 7. There is that makes himself rich, yet has nothing. There is that makes himself poor, yet has great riches. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 8. The ransom of a man's life are his riches, but the poor hears not rebuke. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 9. The light of the righteous rejoices, but the lamp of the wicked shall be put out. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 10. Only by pride comes contention, but with the well-advised is wisdom. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 11. Wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathers by labor shall increase. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 12. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but when the desire comes, it is a tree of life. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 13. Whoever despises the word shall be destroyed, but he that fears the commandment shall be rewarded. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 14. The law of the wise is a fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 15. Good understanding gives favor, but the way of transgressors is hard. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 16. Every prudent man deals with knowledge, but a fool lays open his folly. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 17. A wicked messenger falls into mischief, but a faithful ambassador is health. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 18. Poverty and shame shall be to him that refuses instruction, but he that regards reproof shall be honored. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 19. The desire accomplished is sweet to the soul, but it is abomination to fools to depart from evil. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 20. He that walks with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 21. Evil pursues sinners, but to the righteous good shall be repaid. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 22. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 23. Much food is in the tillage of the poor, but there is that is destroyed for want of judgment. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 24. He that spares his rod hates his son, but he that loves him chastens him betimes. Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 25. The righteous eats to the satisfying of his soul, but the belly of the wicked shall want. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 1. Every wise woman builds her house, but the foolish plucks it down with her hands. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 2. He that walks in his uprightness fears the Lord, but he that is perverse in his ways despises him. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 3. In the mouth of the foolish is a rod of pride, but the lips of the wise shall preserve them. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 4. Where no oxen are, the crib is clean, but much increase is by the strength of the ox. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 5. A faithful witness will not lie, but a false witness will utter lies. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 6. A scorner seeks wisdom, and finds it not, but knowledge is easy to him that understands. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 7. Go from the presence of a foolish man, when you perceive not in him the lips of knowledge. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 8. The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 9. Fools make a mock at sin, but among the righteous there is favor. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 10. The heart knows his own bitterness, and a stranger does not intermeddle with his joy. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 11. The house of the wicked shall be overthrown, but the tabernacle of the upright shall flourish. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 12. There is a way which seems right to a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 13. Even in laughter the heart is sorrowful, and the end of that mirth is heaviness. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 14. The backslider in heart shall be filled with his own ways, and a good man shall be satisfied from himself. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 15. The simple believes every word, but the prudent man looks well to his going. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 16. A wise man fears and departs from evil, but the fool rages and is confident. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 17. He that is soon angry deals foolishly, and a man of wicked devices is hated. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 18. The simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 19. The evil bow before the good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 20. The poor is hated even of his own neighbor, but the rich has many friends. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 21. He that despises his neighbor sins, but he that has mercy on the poor, happy is he. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 22. Do they not err that devise evil? But mercy and truth shall be to them that devise good. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 23. In all labor there is profit, but the talk of the lips tends only to penury. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 24. The crown of the wise is their riches, but the foolishness of fools is folly. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 25. A true witness delivers souls, but a deceitful witness speaks lies. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 26. In the fear of the Lord is strong confidence, and his children shall have a place of refuge. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 27. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 28. In the multitude of people is the king's honor, but in the want of people is the destruction of the prince. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 29. He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of spirit exalts folly. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 30. A sound heart is the life of the flesh, but envy the rottenness of the bones. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 31. He that oppresses the poor reproaches his maker, but he that honors him has mercy on the poor. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 32. The wicked is driven away in his wickedness, but the righteous has hope in his death. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 33. Wisdom rests in the heart of him that has understanding, but that which is in the middle of fools is made known. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 34. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 35. The king's favor is toward a wise servant, but his wrath is against him that causes shame. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 1. A soft answer turns away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 2. The tongue of the wise uses knowledge aright, but the mouth of fools pours out foolishness. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 3. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 4. A wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness therein is a breach in the spirit. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 5. A fool despises his father's instruction, but he that regards reproof is prudent. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 6. In the house of the righteous is much treasure, but in the revenues of the wicked is trouble. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 7. The lips of the wise disperse knowledge, but the heart of the foolish does not so. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 8. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright is his delight. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 9. The way of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but he loves him that follows after righteousness. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 10. Correction is grievous to him that forsakes the way, and he that hates reproof shall die. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 11. Hell and destruction are before the Lord. How much more than the hearts of the children of men? Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 12. A scorner loves not one that reproves him, neither will he go to the wise. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 13. A merry heart makes a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of the heart the spirit is broken. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 14. The heart of him that has understanding seeks knowledge, but the mouth of fools feeds on foolishness. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 15. All the days of the afflicted are evil, but he that is of a merry heart has a continual feast. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 16. Better is little with the fear of the Lord than great treasure and trouble therewith. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 17. Better is a dinner of herbs where love is, than a stalled ox and hatred therewith. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 18. A wrathful man stirs up strife, but he that is slow to anger appeases strife. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 19. The way of the slothful man is as an hedge of thorns, but the way of the righteous is made plain. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 20. A wise son makes a glad father, but a foolish man despises his mother. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 21. Folly is joy to him that is destitute of wisdom, but a man of understanding walks uprightly. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 22. Without counsel purposes are disappointed, but in the multitude of counselors they are established. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 23. A man has joy by the answer of his mouth, and a word spoken in due season, how good is it? Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 24. The way of life is above to the wise, that he may depart from hell beneath. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 25. The Lord will destroy the house of the proud, but he will establish the border of the widow. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 26. The thoughts of the wicked are an abomination to the Lord, but the words of the pure are pleasant words. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 27. He that is greedy of gain troubles his own house, but he that hates gifts shall live. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 28. The heart of the righteous studies to answer, but the mouth of the wicked pours out evil things. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 29. The Lord is far from the wicked, but he hears the prayer of the righteous. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 30. The light of the eyes rejoices the heart, and a good report makes the bones fat. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 31. The ear that hears the reproof of life stays among the wise. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 32. He that refuses instruction despises his own soul, but he that hears reproof gets understanding. Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 33. The fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility. Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 1. The preparations of the heart in man, and the answer of the tongue, is from the Lord. Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 2. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes, but the Lord weighs the spirits. Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 3. Commit your works to the Lord, and your thoughts shall be established. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 4. The Lord has made all things for himself. Yes, even the wicked for the day of evil. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 5. Everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Though hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 6. By mercy and truth iniquity is purged, and by the fear of the Lord men depart from evil. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 7. When a man's ways please the Lord, he makes even his enemies to be at peace with him. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 8. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues without right. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 9. A man's heart devises his way, but the Lord directs his steps. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 10. A divine sentence is in the lips of the king. His mouth transgresses not in judgment. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 11. A just weight and balance are the Lord's. All the weights of the bag are his work. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 12. It is an abomination to kings to commit wickedness, for the throne is established by righteousness. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 13. Righteous lips are the delight of kings, and they love him that speaks right. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 14. The wrath of a king is as messengers of death, but a wise man will pacify it. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 15. In the light of the king's countenance is life, and his favor is as a cloud of the latter rain. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 16. How much better is it to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding rather to be chosen than silver. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 17. The highway of the upright is to depart from evil. He that keeps his way preserves his soul. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 18. Pride goes before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 19. Better it is to be of an humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 20. He that handles a matter wisely shall find good, and whoever trusts in the Lord, happy is he. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 21. The wise in heart shall be called prudent, and the sweetness of the lips increases learning. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 22. Understanding is a wellspring of life to him that has it, but the instruction of fools is folly. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 23. The heart of the wise teaches his mouth, and adds learning to his lips. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 24. Pleasant words are as an honeycomb, sweet to the soul, and health to the bones. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 25. There is a way that seems right to a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 26. He that labors labors for himself, for his mouth craves it of him. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 27. An ungodly man digs up evil, and in his lips there is as a burning fire. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 28. A fraudulent man sows strife, and a whisperer separates chief friends. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 29. A violent man entices his neighbor and leads him into the way that is not good. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 30. He shuts his eyes to devise fraudulent things, Moving his lips, he brings evil to pass. Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 31. The hoary head is a crown of glory, if it be found in the way of righteousness. Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that rules his spirit than he that takes a city. Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 33. The lot is cast into the lap, but the whole disposing thereof is of the Lord. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 1. Better is a dry morsel, and quietness therewith, than an house full of sacrifices with strife. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 2. A wise servant shall have rule over a son that causes shame, and shall have part of the inheritance among the brothers. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 3. The fining pot is for silver, and the furnace for gold, but the Lord tries the hearts. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 4. A wicked doer gives heed to false lips, and a liar gives ear to a naughty tongue. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 5. Whoever mocks the poor reproaches his maker, and he that is glad at calamities shall not be unpunished. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 6. Children's children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children are their fathers. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 7. Excellent speech becomes not a fool, much less do lying lips a prince. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 8. A gift is as a precious stone in the eyes of him that has it. Wherever it turns, it prospers. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 9. He that covers a transgression seeks love, but he that repeats a matter separates very friends. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 10. A reproof enters more into a wise man than 100 stripes into a fool. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 11. An evil man seeks only rebellion, therefore a cruel messenger shall be sent against him. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 12. Let a bear robbed of her whelps meet a man, rather than a fool in his folly. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 13. Whoever rewards evil for good, evil shall not depart from his house. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 14. The beginning of strife is as when one lets out water. Therefore leave off contention, before it be meddled with. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 15. He that justifies the wicked, and he that condemns the just, even they both are abomination to the Lord. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 16. Why is there a price in the hand of a fool to get wisdom, seeing he has no heart to it? Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 17. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 18. A man void of understanding strikes hands, and becomes surety in the presence of his friend. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 19. He loves transgression that loves strife, and he that exalts his gate seeks destruction. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 20. He that has a fraudulent heart finds no good, and he that has a perverse tongue falls into mischief. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 21. He that begets a fool does it to his sorrow, and the father of a fool has no joy. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 22. A merry heart does good like a medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bones. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 23. A wicked man takes a gift out of the bosom to pervert the ways of judgment. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 24. Wisdom is before him that has understanding, but the eyes of a fool are in the ends of the earth. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 25. A foolish son is a grief to his father, and bitterness to her that bore him. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 26. Also to punish the just is not good, nor to strike princes for equity. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 27. He that has knowledge spares his words, and a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 28. Even a fool, when he holds his peace, is counted wise, and he that shuts his lips is esteemed a man of understanding. Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 1. Through desire a man, having separated himself, seeks and intermeddles with all wisdom. Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 2. A fool has no delight in understanding, but that his heart may discover itself. Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 3. When the wicked comes, then comes also contempt, and with ignominy reproach. Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 4. The words of a man's mouth are as deep waters, and the wellspring of wisdom as a flowing brook. Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 5. It is not good to accept the person of the wicked, to overthrow the righteous in judgment. Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 6. A fool's lips enter into contention, and his mouth calls for strokes. Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 7. A fool's mouth is his destruction, and his lips are the snare of his soul. Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 8. The words of a talebearer are as wounds, and they go down into the innermost parts of the belly. Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 9. He also that is slothful in his work is brother to him that is a great waster. Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 10. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runs into it and is safe. Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 11. The rich man's wealth is his strong city, and as an high wall in his own conceit. Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 12. Before destruction, the heart of man is haughty, and before honor is humility. Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 13. He that answers a matter before he hears it, it is folly and shame to him. Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 14. The spirit of a man will sustain his infirmity, but a wounded spirit who can bear? Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 15. The heart of the prudent gets knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge. Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 16. A man's gift makes room for him, and brings him before great men. Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 17. He that is first in his own cause seems just, but his neighbor comes and searches him. Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 18. The lot causes contentions to cease, and parts between the mighty. Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 19. A brother offended is harder to be won than a strong city, and their contentions are like the bars of a castle. Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 20. A man's belly shall be satisfied with the fruit of his mouth, and with the increase of his lips shall he be filled. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that of it shall eat the fruit thereof. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 22. Whoever finds a wife finds a good thing, and obtains favor of the Lord. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 23. The poor uses entreaties, but the rich answers roughly. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 24. A man that has friends must show himself friendly, and there is a friend that sticks closer than a brother. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 1. Better is the poor that walks in his integrity than he that is perverse in his lips and is a fool. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 2. Also that the soul be without knowledge, it is not good, and he that hastens with his feet sins. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 3. The foolishness of man perverts his way, and his heart frets against the Lord. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 4. Wealth makes many friends, but the poor is separated from his neighbor. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 5. A false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaks lies shall not escape. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 6. Many will entreat the favor of the prince, and every man is a friend to him that gives gifts. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 7. All the brothers of the poor do hate him. How much more do his friends go far from him? He pursues them with words, yet they are wanting to him. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 8. He that gets wisdom loves his own soul. He that keeps understanding shall find good. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 9. A false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaks lies shall perish. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 10. Delight is not seemly for a fool, much less for a servant to have rule over princes. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 11. The discretion of a man defers his anger, and it is his glory to pass over a transgression. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 12. The king's wrath is as the roaring of a lion, but his favor is as dew on the grass. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 13. A foolish son is the calamity of his father, and the contentions of a wife are a continual dropping. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 14. House and riches are the inheritance of fathers, and a prudent wife is from the Lord. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 15. Slothfulness casts into a deep sleep, and an idle soul shall suffer hunger. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 16. He that keeps the commandment keeps his own soul, but he that despises his ways shall die. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 17. He that has pity on the poor lends to the Lord, and that which he has given will he pay him again. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 18. Chasten your son while there is hope, and let not your soul spare for his crying. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 19. A man of great wrath shall suffer punishment, for if you deliver him, yet you must do it again. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 20. Hear counsel, and receive instruction, that you may be wise in your latter end. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 21. There are many devices in a man's heart, nevertheless the counsel of the Lord that shall stand. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 22. The desire of a man is his kindness, and a poor man is better than a liar. Proverbs, chapter 19, verse 23. The fear of the Lord tends to life, and he that has it shall abide satisfied. He shall not be visited with evil. Proverbs, chapter 19, verse 24. A slothful man hides his hand in his bosom, and will not so much as bring it to his mouth again. Proverbs, chapter 19, verse 25. Smite a scorner, and the simple will beware, and reprove one that has understanding, and he will understand knowledge. Proverbs, chapter 19, verse 26. He that wastes his father, and chases away his mother, is a son that causes shame, and brings reproach. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 27. Cease, my son, to hear the instruction that causes to err from the words of knowledge. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 28. An ungodly witness scorns judgment, and the mouth of the wicked devours iniquity. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 29. Judgments are prepared for scorners, and stripes for the back of fools. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 1. Wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging, and whoever is deceived thereby is not wise. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 2. The fear of a king is as the roaring of a lion. Whoever provokes him to anger sins against his own soul. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 3. It is an honor for a man to cease from strife, but every fool will be meddling. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 4. The sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold, therefore shall he beg in harvest, and have nothing. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 5. Counsel in the heart of man is like deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 6. Most men will proclaim everyone his own goodness, but a faithful man who can find. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 7. The just man walks in his integrity, his children are blessed after him. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 8. A king that sits in the throne of judgment scatters away all evil with his eyes. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 9. Who can say, I have made my heart clean. I am pure from my sin. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 10. Divers weights and divers measures, both of them are alike abomination to the Lord. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 11. Even a child is known by his doings, whether his work be pure, and whether it be right. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 12. The hearing ear and the seeing eye, the Lord has made even both of them. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 13. Love not sleep, lest you come to poverty. Open your eyes, and you shall be satisfied with bread. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 14. It is not, says the buyer. But when he is gone his way, then he boasts. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 15. There is gold and a multitude of rubies, but the lips of knowledge are a precious jewel. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 16. Take his garment that is surety for a stranger, and take a pledge of him for a strange woman. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 17. Bread of deceit is sweet to a man, but afterwards his mouth shall be filled with gravel. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 18. Every purpose is established by counsel, and with good advice make war. Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 19. He that goes about as a talebearer reveals secrets. Therefore meddle not with him that flatters with his lips. Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 20. Whoever curses his father or his mother, his lamp shall be put out in obscure darkness. Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 21. An inheritance may be gotten hastily at the beginning, but the end thereof shall not be blessed. Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 22. Say not you, I will recompense evil, but wait on the Lord, and he shall save you. Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 23. Diverse weights are an abomination to the Lord, and a false balance is not good. Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 24. Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 25. It is a snare to the man who devours that which is holy, and after vows to make enquiry. Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 26. A wise king scatters the wicked and brings the wheel over them. Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 27. The spirit of man is the candle of the Lord, searching all the inward parts of the belly. Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 28. Mercy and truth preserve the king, and his throne is upheld by mercy. Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 29. The glory of young men is their strength, and the beauty of old men is the gray head. Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 30. The blueness of a wound cleans away evil, so do stripes the inward parts of the belly. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water. He turns it wherever he will. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 2. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord ponders the hearts. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 3. To do justice and judgment is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 4. An high look and a proud heart, and the plowing of the wicked is sin. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 5. The thoughts of the diligent tend only to plenty, but of everyone that is hasty only to want. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 6. The getting of treasures by a lying tongue is a vanity tossed to and fro of them that seek death. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 7. The robbery of the wicked shall destroy them, because they refuse to do judgment. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 8. The way of man is fraudulent and strange, but as for the pure, his work is right. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 9. It is better to dwell in a corner of the housetop than with a brawling woman in a wide house. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 10. The soul of the wicked desires evil. His neighbor finds no favor in his eyes. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 11. When the scorner is punished, the simple is made wise, and when the wise is instructed, he receives knowledge. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 12. The righteous man wisely considers the house of the wicked, but God overthrows the wicked for their wickedness. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 13. Whoever stops his ears at the cry of the poor, He also shall cry himself, but shall not be heard. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 14. A gift in secret pacifies anger, and a reward in the bosom strong wrath. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 15. It is joy to the just to do judgment, but destruction shall be to the workers of iniquity. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 16. The man that wanders out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 17. He that loves pleasure shall be a poor man. He that loves wine and oil shall not be rich. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 18. The wicked shall be a ransom for the righteous, and the transgressor for the upright. Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 19. It is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and an angry woman. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 20. There is treasure to be desired and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man spends it up. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 21. He that follows after righteousness and mercy finds life, righteousness and honor. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 22. A wise man scales the city of the mighty, and casts down the strength of the confidence thereof. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 23. Whoever keeps his mouth and his tongue keeps his soul from troubles. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 24. Proud and haughty scorner is his name, who deals in proud wrath. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 25. The desire of the slothful kills him, for his hands refuse to labor. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 26. He covets greedily all the day long, but the righteous gives and spares not. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 27. The sacrifice of the wicked is abomination. How much more, when he brings it with a wicked mind? Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 28. False witness shall perish, but the man that hears speaks constantly. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 29. A wicked man hardens his face, but as for the upright, he directs his way. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 30. There is no wisdom nor understanding nor counsel against the Lord. Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 31. The horse is prepared against the day of battle, but safety is of the Lord. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 1. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 2. The rich and poor meet together. The Lord is the maker of them all. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 3. A prudent man foresees the evil, and hides himself, but the simple pass on, and are punished. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 4. By humility and the fear of the Lord are riches, and honor, and life. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 5. Thorns and snares are in the way of the fraudulent. He that does keep his soul shall be far from them. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old he will not depart from it. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 7. The rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 8. He that sows iniquity shall reap vanity, and the rod of his anger shall fail. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 9. He that has a bountiful eye shall be blessed, for he gives of his bread to the poor. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 10. Cast out the scorner, and contention shall go out. Yes, strife and reproach shall cease. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 11. He that loves pureness of heart, for the grace of his lips, the king shall be his friend. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 12. The eyes of the Lord preserve knowledge, and he overthrows the words of the transgressor. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 13. The slothful man says, there is a lion without, I shall be slain in the streets. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 14. The mouth of strange women is a deep pit. He that is abhorred of the Lord shall fall therein. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 15. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 16. He that oppresses the poor to increase his riches, and he that gives to the rich shall surely come to want. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 17. Bow down your ear, and hear the words of the wise, and apply your heart to my knowledge. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 18. For it is a pleasant thing if you keep them within you. They shall be fitted in your lips. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 19. That your trust may be in the Lord, I have made known to you this day, even to you. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 20. Have not I written to you excellent things in counsels and knowledge? Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 21. That I might make you know the certainty of the words of truth, that you might answer the words of truth to them that send to you? Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 22. Rob not the poor, because he is poor, neither oppress the afflicted in the gate. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 23. For the Lord will plead their cause, and spoil the soul of those that spoiled them. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 24. Make no friendship with an angry man, and with a furious man you shall not go. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 25. Lest you learn his ways, and get a snare to your soul. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 26. Be not you one of them that strike hands, or of them that are sureties for debts. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 27. If you have nothing to pay, why should he take away your bed from under you? Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 28. Remove not the ancient landmark, which your fathers have set. Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 29. See a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings. He shall not stand before mean men. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 1. When you sit to eat with a ruler, consider diligently what is before you. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 2. And put a knife to your throat, if you be a man given to appetite. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 3. Be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful meat. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 4. Labor not to be rich. Cease from your own wisdom. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 5. Will you set your eyes on that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 6. Eat you not the bread of him that has an evil eye, neither desire you his dainty meats. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 7. For as he thinks in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, says he to you, but his heart is not with you. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 8. The morsel which you have eaten shall you vomit up, and lose your sweet words. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 9. Speak not in the ears of a fool, for he will despise the wisdom of your words. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 10. Remove not the old landmark, and enter not into the fields of the fatherless. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 11. For their Redeemer is mighty, he shall plead their cause with you. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 12. Apply your heart to instruction, and your ears to the words of knowledge. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 13. Withhold not correction from the child, for if you beat him with the rod, he shall not die. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 14. You shall beat him with the rod, and shall deliver his soul from hell. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 15. My son, if your heart be wise, my heart shall rejoice, even mine. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 16. Yes, my reins shall rejoice, when your lips speak right things. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 17. Let not your heart envy sinners, but be you in the fear of the Lord all the day long. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 18. For surely there is an end, and your expectation shall not be cut off. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 19. Hear you, my son, and be wise, and guide your heart in the way. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 20. Be not among wine-bibbers, among riotous eaters of flesh. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 21. For the drunkard and the glutton shall come to poverty, and drowsiness shall clothe a man with rags. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 22. Listen to your father that begat you, and despise not your mother when she is old. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 23. Buy the truth, and sell it not, also wisdom, and instruction, and understanding. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 24. The father of the righteous shall greatly rejoice, and he that begets a wise child shall have joy of him. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 25. Your father and your mother shall be glad, and she that bore you shall rejoice. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 26. My son, give me your heart, and let your eyes observe my ways. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 27. For a whore is a deep ditch, and a strange woman is a narrow pit. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 28. She also lies in wait as for a prey, and increases the transgressors among men. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 29. Who has woe? Who has sorrow? Who has contentions? Who has babbling? Who has wounds without cause? Who has redness of eyes? Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 30. They that tarry long at the wine, they that go to seek mixed wine. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 31. Look not you on the wine when it is red, when it gives his color in the cup, when it moves itself aright. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 32. At the last it bites like a serpent, and stings like an adder. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 33. Your eyes shall behold strange women, and your heart shall utter perverse things. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 34. Yes, you shall be as he that lies down in the middle of the sea, or as he that lies on the top of a mast. Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 35. They have stricken me, shall you say, and I was not sick. They have beaten me, and I felt it not. When shall I awake? I will seek it yet again. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 1. Be not you envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 2. For their heart studies destruction, and their lips talk of mischief. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 3. Through wisdom is an house built, and by understanding it is established. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 4. And by knowledge shall the chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant riches. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 5. A wise man is strong, yes, a man of knowledge increases strength. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 6. For by wise counsel you shall make your war, and in multitude of counselors there is safety. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 7. Wisdom is too high for a fool. He opens not his mouth in the gate. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 8. He that devises to do evil shall be called a mischievous person. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 9. The thought of foolishness is sin, and the scorner is an abomination to men. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 10. If you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 11. If you forbear to deliver them that are drawn to death, and those that are ready to be slain. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 12. If you say, Behold, we knew it not, does not he that ponders the heart consider it? And he that keeps your soul, does not he know it? And shall not he render to every man according to his works? Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 13. My son, eat you honey, because it is good, and the honeycomb which is sweet to your taste. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 14. So shall the knowledge of wisdom be to your soul. When you have found it, then there shall be a reward, and your expectation shall not be cut off. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 15. Lay not wait, O wicked man, against the dwelling of the righteous. Spoil not his resting place. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 16. For a just man falls 7 times, and rises up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 17. Rejoice not when your enemy falls, and let not your heart be glad when he stumbles. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 18. Lest the Lord see it, and it displease him, and he turn away his wrath from him. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 19. Fret not yourself because of evil men, neither be you envious at the wicked. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 20. For there shall be no reward to the evil man. The candle of the wicked shall be put out. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 21. My son, fear you the Lord and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 22. For their calamity shall rise suddenly, and who knows the ruin of them both? Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 23. These things also belong to the wise. It is not good to have respect of persons in judgment. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 24. He that says to the wicked, You are righteous, him shall the people curse, nations shall abhor him. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 25. But to them that rebuke him shall be delight, and a good blessing shall come on them. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 26. Every man shall kiss his lips that gives a right answer. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 27. Prepare your work without, and make it fit for yourself in the field, and afterwards build your house. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 28. Be not a witness against your neighbor without cause, and deceive not with your lips. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 29. Say not, I will do so to him as he has done to me. I will render to the man according to his work. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 30. I went by the field of the slothful, and by the vineyard of the man void of understanding. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 31. And see, it was all grown over with thorns, and nettles had covered the face thereof, and the stone wall thereof was broken down. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 32. Then I saw, and considered it well. I looked on it, and received instruction. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 33. Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 34. So shall your poverty come as one that travels, and your want as an armed man. Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 1. These are also Proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah king of Judah copied out. Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 2. It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 3. The heaven for height, and the earth for depth, and the heart of kings is unsearchable. Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 4. Take away the dross from the silver, and there shall come forth a vessel for the finer. Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 5. Take away the wicked from before the king, and his throne shall be established in righteousness. Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 6. Put not forth yourself in the presence of the king, and stand not in the place of great men. Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 7. For better it is that it be said to you, Come up here, than that you should be put lower in the presence of the prince whom your eyes have seen. Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 8. Go not forth hastily to strive, lest you know not what to do in the end thereof, when your neighbor has put you to shame. Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 9. Debate your cause with your neighbor himself, and discover not a secret to another. Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 10. Lest he that hears it put you to shame, and your infamy turn not away. Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 11. A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold and pictures of silver. Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 12. As an earring of gold and an ornament of fine gold, so is a wise reprover on an obedient ear. Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 13. As the cold of snow in the time of harvest, so is a faithful messenger to them that send him, for he refreshes the soul of his masters. Proverbs chapter 25, verse 14. Whoever boasts himself of a false gift is like clouds and wind without rain. Proverbs chapter 25, verse 15. My long forbearing is a prince persuaded, and a soft tongue breaks the bone. Proverbs chapter 25, verse 16. Have you found honey? Eat so much as is sufficient for you, lest you be filled therewith and vomited. Proverbs chapter 25, verse 17. Withdraw your foot from your neighbor's house, lest he be weary of you, and so hate you. Proverbs chapter 25, verse 18. The man that bears false witness against his neighbor is a maul, and a sword, and a sharp arrow. Proverbs chapter 25, verse 19. Confidence in an unfaithful man in time of trouble is like a broken tooth, and a foot out of joint. Proverbs chapter 25, verse 20. As he that takes away a garment in cold weather, and as vinegar on nitre, so is he that singes songs to an heavy heart. Proverbs chapter 25, verse 21. If your enemy be hungry, give him bread to eat, and if he be thirsty, give him water to drink. Proverbs chapter 25, verse 22. For you shall heap coals of fire on his head, and the Lord shall reward you. Proverbs chapter 25, verse 23. The north wind drives away rain, so does an angry countenance a backbiting tongue. Proverbs chapter 25, verse 24. It is better to dwell in the corner of the housetop than with a brawling woman and in a wide house. Proverbs chapter 25, verse 25. As cold waters to a thirsty soul, so is good news from a far country. Proverbs chapter 25, verse 26. A righteous man falling down before the wicked is as a troubled fountain and a corrupt spring. Proverbs chapter 25, verse 27. It is not good to eat much honey, so for men to search their own glory is not glory. Proverbs chapter 25, verse 28. He that has no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. Proverbs chapter 26, verse 1. As snow in summer, and as rain in harvest, so honor is not seemly for a fool. Proverbs chapter 26, verse 2. As the bird by wandering, as the swallow by flying, so the curse causeless shall not come. Proverbs chapter 26, verse 3. A whip for the horse, a bridle for the ass, and a rod for the fool's back. Proverbs chapter 26, verse 4. Answer not a fool according to his folly, lest you also be like to him. Proverbs chapter 26, verse 5. Answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own conceit. Proverbs chapter 26, verse 6. He that sends a message by the hand of a fool cuts off the feet and drinks damage. Proverbs chapter 26, verse 7. The legs of the lame are not equal, so is a parable in the mouth of fools. Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 8. As he that binds a stone in a sling, so is he that gives honor to a fool. Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 9. As a thorn goes up into the hand of a drunkard, so is a parable in the mouths of fools. Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 10. The great God that formed all things both rewards the fool and rewards transgressors. Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 11. As a dog returns to his vomit, so a fool returns to his folly. Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 12. See you a man wise in his own conceit? There is more hope of a fool than of him. Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 13. The slothful man says, there is a lion in the way. A lion is in the streets. Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 14. As the door turns on his hinges, so does the slothful on his bed. Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 15. The slothful hides his hand in his bosom. It grieves him to bring it again to his mouth. Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 16. The sluggard is wiser in his own conceit than 7 men that can render a reason. Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 17. He that passes by and meddles with strife belonging not to him is like one that takes a dog by the ears. Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 18. As a madman who casts firebrands, arrows, and death. Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 19. So is the man that deceives his neighbor and says, not I in sport. Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 20. Where no wood is, there the fire goes out. So where there is no talebearer, the strife ceases. Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 21. As coals are to burning coals, and wood to fire, so is a contentious man to kindle strife. Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 22. The words of a talebearer are as wounds, and they go down into the innermost parts of the belly. Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 23t. Burning lips and a wicked heart are like a potsherd covered with silver dross. Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 24. He that hates dissembles with his lips, and lays up deceit within him. Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 25. When he speaks fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 26. Whose hatred is covered by deceit, his wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation. Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 27. Whoever digs a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolls a stone, it will return on him. Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 28. A lying tongue hates those that are afflicted by it, and a flattering mouth works ruin. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 1. Boast not yourself of tomorrow, for you know not what a day may bring forth. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 2. Let another man praise you, and not your own mouth, a stranger, and not your own lips. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 3. A stone is heavy, and the sand weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than them both. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 4. Wrath is cruel, and anger is outrageous, But who is able to stand before envy? Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 5. Open rebuke is better than secret love. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 6. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 7. The full soul loathes in honeycomb, but to the hungry soul every bitter thing is sweet. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 8. As a bird that wanders from her nest, so is a man that wanders from his place. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 9. Ointment and perfume rejoice the heart. So does the sweetness of a man's friend, by hearty counsel. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 10. Your own friend and your father's friend forsake not. Neither go into your brother's house in the day of your calamity. For better is a neighbor that is near than a brother far off. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 11. My son, be wise and make my heart glad, that I may answer him that reproaches me. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 12. A prudent man foresees the evil and hides himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 13. Take his garment that is surety for a stranger, and take a pledge of him for a strange woman. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 14. He that blesses his friend with a loud voice, rising early in the morning, it shall be counted a curse to him. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 15. A continual dropping in a very rainy day and a contentious woman are alike. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 16. Whoever hides her hides the wind and the ointment of his right hand, which denudes itself. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 17. Iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 18. Whoever keeps the fig tree shall eat the fruit thereof, so he that waits on his master shall be honored. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 19. As in water face answers to face, so the heart of man to man. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 20. Hell and destruction are never full, so the eyes of man are never satisfied. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 21. As the fining pot for silver and the furnace for gold, so is a man to his praise. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 22. Though you should bray a fool in a mortar among wheat with a pestle, yet will not his foolishness depart from him. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 23. Be you diligent to know the state of your flocks, and look well to your herds. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 24. For riches are not forever, and does the crown endure to every generation? Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 25. The hay appears, and the tender grass shows itself, and herbs of the mountains are gathered. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 26. The lambs are for your clothing, and the goats are the price of the field. Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 27. And you shall have goats milk enough for your food, for the food of your household, and for the maintenance for your maidens. Proverbs, chapter 28, verse 1. The wicked flee when no man pursues, but the righteous are bold as a lion. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 2. For the transgression of a land, many are the princes thereof. But by a man of understanding and knowledge the state thereof shall be prolonged. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 3. A poor man that oppresses the poor is like a sweeping rain which leaves no food. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 4. They that forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law contend with them. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 5. Evil men understand not judgment, but they that seek the Lord understand all things. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 6. Better is the poor that walks in his uprightness than he that is perverse in his ways, though he be rich. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 7. Whoever keeps the law has a wise son, but he that is a companion of riotous men shames his father. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 8. He that by usury and unjust gain increases his substance, he shall gather it for him that will pity the poor. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 9. He that turns away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be abomination. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 10. Whoever causes the righteous to go astray in an evil way shall fall himself into his own pit, but the upright shall have good things in possession. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 11. The rich man is wise in his own conceit, but the poor that is understanding searches him out. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 12. When righteous men do rejoice, there is great glory, but when the wicked rise, a man is hidden. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 13. He that covers his sins shall not prosper, but whoever confesses and forsakes them shall have mercy. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 14. Happy is the man that fears always, but he that hardens his heart shall fall into mischief. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 15. As a roaring lion and a raging bear, so is a wicked ruler over the poor people. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 16. The prince that wants understanding is also a great oppressor, but he that hates covetousness shall prolong his days. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 17. A man that does violence to the blood of any person shall flee to the pit. Let no man stay him. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 18. Whoever walks uprightly shall be saved, but he that is perverse in his ways shall fall at once. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 19. He that tills his land shall have plenty of bread, but he that follows after vain persons shall have poverty enough. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 20. A faithful man shall abound with blessings, but he that makes haste to be rich shall not be innocent. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 21. To have respect of persons is not good, for a piece of bread that man will transgress. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 22. He that hastens to be rich has an evil eye, and considers not that poverty shall come on him. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 23. He that rebukes a man afterwards shall find more favor than he that flatters with the tongue. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 24. Whoever robs his father or his mother, and says, "It is no transgression," the same is the companion of a destroyer. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 25. He that is of a proud heart stirs up strife, but he that puts his trust in the Lord shall be made fat. Proverbs, chapter 28, verse 26. He that trusts in his own heart is a fool, but whoever walks wisely, he shall be delivered. Proverbs, chapter 28, verse 27. He that gives to the poor shall not lack, but he that hides his eyes shall have many a curse. Proverbs, chapter 28, verse 28. When the wicked rise, men hide themselves, but when they perish, the righteous increase. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 1. He that being often reproved hardens his neck, shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bears rule, the people mourn. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 3. Whoever loves wisdom rejoices his father, but he that keeps company with harlots spends his substance. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 4. The king by judgment establishes the land, but he that receives gifts overthrows it. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 5. A man that flatters his neighbor spreads a net for his feet. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 6. In the transgression of an evil man, there's a snare, but the righteous does sing and rejoice. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 7. The righteous considers the cause of the poor, but the wicked regards not to know it. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 8. Scornful men bring a city into a snare, but wise men turn away wrath. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 9. If a wise man contends with a foolish man, whether he rage or laugh, there is no rest. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 10. Bloodthirsty hate the upright, but the just seek his soul. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 11. A fool utters all his mind, but a wise man keeps it in till afterwards. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 12. If a ruler listen to lies, all his servants are wicked. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 13. The poor and the deceitful man meet together. The Lord lightens both their eyes. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 14. The king that faithfully judges the poor, his throne shall be established forever. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 15. The rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself brings his mother to shame. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 16. When the wicked are multiplied, transgression increases, but the righteous shall see their fall. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 17. Correct your son, and he shall give you rest. Yes, he shall give delight to your soul. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 18. Where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keeps the law, happy is he. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 19. A servant will not be corrected by words, for though he understand, he will not answer. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 20. See a man that is hasty in his words. There is more hope of a fool than of him. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 21. He that delicately brings up his servant from a child shall have him become his son at the length. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 22. An angry man stirs up strife, and a furious man abounds in transgression. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 23. A man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 24. Whoever is partner with a thief hates his own soul. He hears cursing and denudes it not. Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 25. The fear of man brings a snare, but whoever puts his trust in the Lord shall be safe. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 26. Many seek the ruler's favor, but every man's judgment comes from the Lord. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 27. An unjust man is an abomination to the just, and he that is upright in the way is abomination to the wicked. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 1. The words of Agur, the son of Yakeh, even the prophecy. The man spoke to Ithiel, even to Ithiel and Ukal. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 2. Surely I am more brutish than any man, and have not the understanding of a man. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 3. I neither learned wisdom, nor have the knowledge of the holy. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 4. Who has ascended up into heaven, or descended? Who has gathered the wind in his fists? Who has bound the waters in a garment? Who has established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? And what is his son's name, if you can tell? Proverbs chapter 30, verse 5. Every word of God is pure. He is a shield to them that put their trust in him. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 6. Add you not to his words, lest he reprove you, and you be found a liar. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 7. Two things have I required of you. Deny me them not before I die. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 8. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 9. Lest I be full and deny you, and say, Who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal, and take the name of my God in vain. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 10. Accuse not a servant to his master, lest he curse you, and you be found guilty. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 11. There is a generation that curses their father and does not bless their mother. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 12. There is a generation that are pure in their own eyes, and yet is not washed from their filthiness. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 13. There is a generation, oh how lofty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 14. There is a generation whose teeth are as swords, and their jaw teeth as knives, to devour the poor from off the earth, and the needy from among men. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 15. The horse leech has two daughters, crying, Give, give. There are three things that are never satisfied. Yes, four things say not, It is enough. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 16. The grave and the barren womb, the earth that is not filled with water, and the fire that says not, It is enough. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 17. The eye that mocks at his father, and despises to obey his mother, the ravens of the valley shall pick it out, and the young eagles shall eat it. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 18. There be three things which are too wonderful for me, yes, four, which I know not. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 19. The way of an eagle in the air, the way of a serpent on a rock, the way of a ship in the middle of the sea, and the way of a man with a maid. Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 20. Such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eats and wipes her mouth and says, I have done no wickedness. Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 21. For 3 things the earth is disquieted, and for 4 which it cannot bear. Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 22. For a servant when he reigns, and a fool when he is filled with meat. Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 23. For an odious woman when she is married, and a handmaid that is heir to her mistress. Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 24. There be 4 things which are little on the earth, but they are exceeding wise. Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 25. The answer are people not strong, yet they prepare their meat in the summer. Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 26. The conies are but a feeble folk, yet make they their houses in the rocks. Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 27. The locusts have no king, yet go they forth all of them by bands. Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 28. The spider takes hold with her hands, and is in kings' palaces. Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 29. There be 3 things which go well, yes, 4 are comely in going. Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 30. A lion which is strongest among beasts, and turns not away for any. Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 31. A greyhound, and a goat also, and a king against whom there is no rising up. Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 32. If you have done foolishly in lifting up yourself, or if you have thought evil, lay your hand on your mouth. Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 33. Surely the churning of milk brings forth butter, and the wringing of the nose brings forth blood, so the forcing of wrath brings forth strife. Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 1. The words of King Lemuel, the prophecy that his mother taught him. Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 2. What, my son, and what? The son of my womb, and what? The son of my vows. Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 3. Give not your strength to women, nor your ways to that which destroys kings. Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 4. It is not for kings, O Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes strong drink. Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 5. Lest they drink and forget the law, and pervert the judgment of any of the afflicted. Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 6. Give strong drink to him that is ready to perish, and wine to those that be of heavy hearts. Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 7. Let him drink and forget his poverty, and remember his misery no more. Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 8. Open your mouth for the dumb in the cause of all such as are appointed to destruction. Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 9. Open your mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy. Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 11. The heart of her husband does safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 12. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 13. She seeks wool and flax and works willingly with her hands. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 14. She is like the merchant's ships. She brings her food from afar. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 15. She rises also while it is yet night, and gives meat to her household, and a portion to her maidens. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 16. She considers a field, and buys it. With the fruit of her hands she plants a vineyard. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 17. She girds her loins with strength, and strengthens her arms. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 18. She perceives that her merchandise is good. Her candle goes not out by night. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 19. She lays her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 20. She stretches out her hand to the poor. Yes, she reaches forth her hands to the needy. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 21. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 22. She makes herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 23. Her husband is known in the gates, when he sits among the elders of the land. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 24. She makes fine linen and sells it, and delivers girdles to the merchant. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 25. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 26. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 27. She looks well to the ways of her household, and eats not the bread of idleness. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 28. Her children arise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 29. Many daughters have done virtuously, but you excel them all. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 30. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain, but a woman that fears the Lord, she shall be praised. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 31. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates.